Hello world, Krista here with Books and Jams, and today I'm doing my first ever mid-month wrap-up. I have already finished 6 things this month, and I wanted to just talk about them now that we're just past the halfway point of the month, so that I don't have to remember all the way to the end of the month, because remembering is hard. Right at the very beginning of November, I read Hunted by Megan Spooner. I got this out from the library. It is a Beauty and the Beast retelling that I have heard so many people talk about, especially Murphy from Murphy Napier. And I think I was sold on this book, first of all, because it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. But then listen to this dedication at the beginning. To the girl who reads by flashlight, who sees dragons in the clouds, who feels most alive in worlds that never were, who knows magic is real, who dreams. This is for you. Aw, it's so beautiful. I really loved that. I was really captivated by this story right away. It's about a girl named Yiva. Her and her sisters and father live on the outskirts of this town, and because of some financial difficulties end up moving into this cabin in the woods. Yiva is a hunter along with her father, and she is happiest when she's out in the woods shooting animals with her bow and arrow and laying traps. But then, of course, there is a beast character. It's a Beauty and the Beast retelling, so it's super predictable in some respects. The beast was a beast. The majority of the narrative is from Yiva's perspective and what's happening to her, but every once in a while we get these almost journal entries at the beginning of each chapter that kind of share what the beast is thinking. We learn about the curse that was put on him throughout the book, and it was just magical and fun, a little bit heartbreaking at times, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. What a great way to start off the month of November. Also this month, I've been continuing on with the graphic novel series Amulet, and I read 2, which is The Stonekeeper's Curse, 3, which is The Cloud Searchers, and 4, which is The Last Council. The overarching story in this series is that there's this family, a mother and her son and daughter, who have been transported to this other alternate world, and the girl in the family has become the Stonekeeper, and she throughout the series is kind of fighting against the power of the stone, but also learning to harness its power, to use it to save her mother initially, and then to save the world, and eventually to get back to their own land. It's a lot of fun. The art is gorgeous. Throughout each of the books there are some of these landscape scenes which cover both pages, and it's just a really beautiful graphic novel. I'm enjoying them. I mean, take it or leave them, but I have been enjoying it so far. The next book that I completed is the first in a series called Stravaganza, and this one is City of Masks by Mary Hoffman. You've probably heard me talk about Ted Dekker. One of his series, Black, White, Red, Green, deals with this man who, when he's awake, he's in one world, and when he goes to sleep, he ends up in another world. That is what this book is. It's about this boy named Lucien. He is battling cancer, but then one night when he falls asleep, he wakes up in this city of Balazza, which is like a sort of Venice, Italy. It would have been in ancient times. It's not the Venice of present day, but it has a lot of similarities, a lot of the same buildings and architecture, but it is not quite the same. So he is dealing with the cancer in his real time, but then he goes back and he's dealing with all of this adventure, and he is not sick in this other world. There's some magic involved, and it is just a lot of fun. And I think there are 3 other books in this series, and I'm really looking forward to continuing on with them. I want to thank Kales from Kales Corner for recommending this to me. This was from my Booktuber Recommends jar. I'm very excited that I enjoyed it. The last book that I finished so far this month is Since We Fell by Dennis LeHane. I can't find where I put the jacket. It is coverless right now. It's a naked book. Yikes! This is the November pick for the Books and Jams Readalong on Goodreads, so I am not going to talk about this too much now because it's only the middle of the month, and if you are interested in reading Since We Fell, I would love to have you join in the conversation there. I will just tell you very briefly, the book is divided into 3 parts, and it's almost like it's 3 different stories because the tone and the pacing is so different in each of the parts. However, each is very captivating in its own way, but it does kind of have a slow build until this rip-roaring pace at the end. A lot of twists and turns along the way that I was not prepared for. Yeah, I really don't want to talk about it too much because it is such a fun ride. I would love to have you join in the fun and go ahead and join the Books and Jams Read Along on Goodreads. Then I am in the middle of 3 books right now, and near the end of them. So this weekend I will probably finish maybe all 3. I have about 100 pages left of Jodi Picoult's The Storyteller. This was also in my Booktuber Recommends jar for the year. Lisa from Brand New Book Smell recommended this to me. I'm really, really loving this book. It is a World War II historical fiction. Our main character, Sage Singer, is a baker. She meets this elderly gentleman who tells her that he was a Nazi SS officer during World War II and opens up to her about some of the horrible things that he did during the war. Also, for the first time, her grandmother tells her her survival story of having lived as a Jewish woman through the Holocaust and her experiences in the concentration camps and such. This book is heartbreaking, as most World War II historical fiction books are. I'm really enjoying it though, and I'm reading this along with Scarlett, who is one of my friends from BookTube, so I'm really glad to be able to discuss it with her because it gets a little heavy at times, and so it's nice to be able to process with somebody else. So I will be finishing that one very soon. I'm also reading The Boston Girl by Anita Diamant. I'm reading this with Robin's group on Goodreads called Blast from the Past. Her channel is The Driftless Reader. I'll put a link to her Goodreads group as well as her channel down below. This is a really good book. I'm also only about 100 pages from the end of this one, and this one reads really quickly, so I'm sure I'll finish this one either tonight or tomorrow. This is another grandmother telling her story kind of a book, and I'll talk about it more at the end of the month, but I'm really enjoying it so far. The third book that I am in the middle of is Rainbow Valley by Ellen Montgomery. This is book 6 in the Anne of Green Gables series. Nope, it's book 7. This is book 7 in the Anne of Green Gables series. I think I said that wrong on the Instagram picture that I just posted today. This is book 7. There are only 8, and I forgot to put this in my TBR, but I'm hoping to finish this series before the end of the year. I am enjoying this one much more than I enjoyed Anne of Ingleside. I think I prepared myself differently for this one, knowing it was going to be more about the children and less about Anne, but I'm loving some of the characters in this one and really looking forward to completing it. That's where I'm at with my reading this month. I would love to hear from you how your reading is going so far in November. I know so many of you are participating in Nonfiction November. I think I just kind of gave up on that idea because I'm not feeling it. Once I finish these 3, I will dive into my Book of the Month shelf of books that I've received from the Book of the Month Club and hopefully get through a couple of those, if not 3 or 4, before the end of the month. We shall see. But it's been a great reading month so far, and I look forward to chatting with you down in the comments. And happy reading, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye.